Hey, fifth grade science team. I had a lot of questions about the matter unit, and I wanted to give a little bit of an explanation as to why it was designed the way it was. This unit was designed by Adriana and myself with the input of some UVA professors and our science lead a couple of years ago to be an inquiry-based unit. Inquiry meaning, in this case, students are discovering the information largely on their own through experiential learning, through hands-on projects. So I'm not sure how well this fits with virtual learning, but it seems like you guys had a lot of questions about it, and I think those are valid questions. So I'm going to try to answer them in this short video. The first one was, for this inquiry unit, we based it around the big question, can we run out of water? Throughout the entire unit, students are we hope that they gather evidence to be able to support a claim about whether or not we can run out of water. And along the way, there are sub questions or smaller questions that lead up to the bigger question. Now, given the time constraints, it may be valuable to just eliminate some of those smaller questions, but always continue to return to the big question: can we run out of water? All right, so one of the smaller questions that is going to start the unit is, where did the puddle go? And that's a really great question to ask kids that they can then relate to the bigger question of, can we run out of water? Because you can relate a puddle to virtually any kind of water out there. So I wanted to also go over the practice of modeling in science and why modeling in this way that I'm going to show you is really valuable for kids. Again, Adrian and I worked with some folks at UVA, and they had a lot to say about the practice of text and visual-based modeling, and not just physical modeling. And so for this "where did the puddle go" question, we hope that kids would start with a model of a puddle disappearing. Okay, and this is the blank copy that you can provide your kids. And even kids without a lot of prior knowledge have seen water evaporating in some way, shape, or form by the time that they're in fifth grade. Okay, even kids from any background. So I don't think this is an unfair question to ask kids. What you can say is, draw what you think happened to the puddle. Okay, or maybe you can come up with some common symbols as a class: water droplets, arrows of different sizes and what they mean, to help your kids in drawing where they think the puddle goes. Because the idea behind this sort of modeling is they revisit this same drawing multiple times throughout the unit to end up with a drawing at the end of the unit that includes a lot more information that they've gathered through evidence and through learning throughout the unit. All right, so maybe this is the very first day you're introducing the unit. You say, where did the puddle go? After maybe showing them a video or some kind of a hook. And they see that there's a difference in the puddle in 3 days. All right, so maybe you teach them some things, or they go through some experiences. Maybe they try to put a plastic bag over top of the puddle to collect some of the water. Maybe they try to filter some of the water. Maybe they try to take pictures of it, right? Whatever you want them to do to be able to learn more and gather evidence. All right, so then the next time they revisit it, they're given the same picture, and maybe it looks like this. Or maybe this is the first time that they've seen it. They draw these arrows on there like this to kind of show where the water goes, but without much more detail. All right, imagine giving this same image to kids every couple of days or maybe once a week, and seeing if they can add the information that they're learning to the picture. All right, so maybe at the end of the unit, you end up with something that looks a little bit more like this, where they've got arrows that indicate different sizes. They've got text descriptions talking about evaporation. They've added in some trees maybe to talk about how water condenses in clouds and then eventually falls to the ground and then it's absorbed by trees. Maybe they've even drawn water molecules, and they talked about how water is made up of elements and the elements have different particles to them, right? I mean, everything, a lot of the content that you're trying to emphasize can be added right back into the same picture. All right, and that's kind of the idea behind the unit, is they're revisiting something that's very familiar to them, even at the very beginning, but learning so much more about it that their picture becomes rich and detailed by the end. All right, that's kind of the thinking behind the modeling idea that this unit is all kind of centered around. All right.